Yeah, baby. Happy Monday to you. It's Tone the Bone here from TKR, Tony Kurre Radio. Hope you have a fantastic weekend. Man, what a great weekend. College football, I'm telling you now. I did sports radio. I went and worked up at ESPN for a little period of time, and I came back and did the show with Al and Jay in the opening drive. I've been on sports radio for like 25, 30 years. I'm doing the classic rock thing now, but man, just to have college football of any likeness on TV this weekend was like an awesome, awesome welcome sight. In this crazy world, everything going on, I don't need to tell you what's going on. Just to have college football back on the TV for just like a brief moment in time, it was like everything was normal again. Everything was good again. It was sacred. It was just fantastic. I loved it. Big week in college football here. Of course, we get ready for week one. We had week 0, whatever that is. Week 1, Alabama's taking on Utah State. We have Auburn taking on Mercer, which should be a good start there for Brian Harson's second year. And, of course, the UAB Blazers getting ready to take on Alabama A&M going on Thursday night. So I'm going to do Thursday night with UAB. I'm going to go see the Doobies on Friday, and then I'm going to see Alabama on Saturday. It's going to be a hellacious great week. It's going to be awesome. Brandon Austin Morris, good morning to you, man. Happy Monday to you, brother. A couple things that kind of tweaked my interest. First of all, Michael Jackson would have been 64 today. I always wonder, we're going to be doing a show here on Tony Kurre Radio called Wide Awake Wake, where we actually kill off rockers before they're actually dead. Paul McCartney will be our first guest. And we're going to talk about what it would be like when Paul McCartney, or if and when Paul McCartney passes away, certainly assuming it's going to happen during my lifetime. So why do we wait till after they die to celebrate their legacy when Freddie Mercury passed away? Like the top 8 albums were Queen albums, which I'm not saying they should be top 8 Queen albums should be up there, every single day, even when you're alive. But people go out there and they go, oh, it's such great music. We had Stevie Ray Vaughan. We were talking about Stevie Ray Vaughan last week on Win in Rome with Stuart Rome from the Woodhouse Day Spa. He passed away 32 years ago last week. And I never played any Stevie Ray Vaughan on the radio until he passed away. And I'm like, why'd we wait? His music was killer. So we're going to start talking about these rockers. Al Cooper, good morning to you. We're going to talk about these rockers before they die so we can celebrate their legacy. So that show's going to be coming up here. But Michael Jackson at the age of 64, what would Michael Jackson be doing now if he was still alive at the age of 64? He wouldn't be still performing, would he? I don't know. Over the weekend, and this is one of those, what did I do with my baseball card situations? We talked about this back in the 80s, the 90s, and even last decade. Man, I wish I'd held on to my baseball cards. I was looking through some things. I found some Nolan Ryan cards that were worth like $2 or $3 grand. But a unbelievable Mickey Mantle card this past weekend not only went for the most any baseball card has ever gone for. It went for $12.6 million. The thing that was crazy is it wasn't something like from 1903. Obviously, Mickey wasn't around then. But it was a 1952 card that was almost in uncirculated condition, a 9.5, which is unheard of in the card collecting business. And it went for $12.6 million. And I thought it was really interesting. There's another auction coming up through Invaluable.com. If you go to Invaluable.com, they're doing all this memorabilia. They're doing like B.B. King's first acoustic guitar. They're going to be doing the Billie Holiday passport. They've got stuff from 9/11. They've got New York Yankees World Series rings. Just a plethora of collectible things that are going to be going up at auction. And, I've watched enough Pawn Stars to realize that just because you have something and it means a lot to you, there's a sentimental value to it, and you're just crazy about it. Maybe you have a personal experience with it, which is almost everything in my studio here. And one day I'll just run the camera around the studio and see a lot of the collectibles I have. They all have a story behind them, so they mean more to me. But on a typical market, when you look at auction prices, things just don't go for what you think. We had this thing up at the Brass Bear up the street, one of these little antique places. Actually, it's a big antique place. And we were trying to raise some money for the Bright House Foundation, my ex and I were. And so I was putting a lot of my collectibles up, but it was stuff I didn't really want to sell. But if someone gave me an absorbent amount of money for something, then I put a price tag on it. So I may have had like a Frank Sinatra autograph, which is near and dear to my heart because I got Frank Sinatra's autograph in person back in the 80s in Louisville, Kentucky. And to me, it's priceless. So you see these people walking into Pawn Stars and they want like $20,000 or $30,000 for a Kurt Cobain autograph. You're like, dude, it doesn't go for 20. Now, if you're putting a do not want to sell it price, Tony Page, good morning to you, and you don't care about selling it at all, fine. there may be some knucklehead out there that's willing to pay that kind of money because they may have the same experience you had. Or maybe they had an autograph of someone and they lost it. I don't know. But $12.6 million for a baseball card is crazy. That's crazy money. And maybe they have a personal experience too. But I think a lot of people who have gone to concerts and have gotten autographs, they have things, they have them framed. They're in their kitchen, their living room, their den or whatever. And those things are worth a lot. So whenever you have a collectible and you think, oh man, this person just passed away, and I use Michael Jackson as an example. I don't have a Michael Jackson autograph, but right after he passed away, his autographs were going for $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. Makes sense. But just wait a little bit, the market will come back down again. And now I bet you can get a Michael Jackson autograph for $400 or $500. But if you have a personal experience behind it, then it's certainly worth a heck of a lot more to you. So something to think about. $12.6 million for a baseball card is insane. Also coming up this weekend, we talked about Alabama, Utah State, Auburn, Mercer, and A&M and my UAB Blazers down there at Protective Life Stadium on Thursday. Really interesting thing going on this Saturday on September 3rd. It is National Cinema Day. The movie business is just getting killed. COVID just killed the movie industry. I still believe it's like going to a concert. If I'm watching AC/DC concert live on television, it doesn't even hold a candle to actually seeing the band live, even if you're in the nosebleed sections. I mentioned the Doobie Brothers. I've seen the Doobie Brothers probably 20 times. I've never seen it with Michael McDonald. That's why I'm so excited about seeing them Friday. And so when you see them in person, it is just a different experience. It's fantastic. LaGale Chisholm, good morning to you. And so it just means the world. So when you're talking about going to a movie, and I know people have their home studios, they got their 70-inch TVs, they got the seats that rumble and all that stuff. It just ain't the same than being in an IMAX theater or an actual theater and doing it with other people. I remember going to movies when the movie theater was packed, and that's the kind of movie theater you wanted to go to because you wanted to hear the reaction of the rest of the crowd. Laughter is infectious, man. Going to see a comedy movie or a romantic comedy in a movie theater and having everyone laugh at the same time you are just adds to the movie experience. It makes it great. So Regal Cinemas talk about going bankrupt. There's a couple other movie theaters. To show appreciation for cinema goers, they're going to have $3 tickets this Saturday, all day. 3,000 theaters across the country, $3 tickets. And not to say that I'd blow off Alabama, Utah State, although ticket prices are pretty good there too because it's Utah State. But I want to get back in the movies, and I'm thinking to myself, maybe I can do both, because the Alabama game's not till later in the day. Maybe I can go see an early matinee. But if you're really moviegoer, check out National Cinema Day. Tickets are only $3, $3 to go check out your favorite flick. So check that out. Finally today, before we get into one of my great clients here, I wanted to mention Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy, of course, been banged up. He's got Parkinson's, the whole 9 yards. Didn't know if he was going to go back on the road. It appears his wife, Sharon's been trying to push him back out, and he wants to be back on the road. And I think in a perfect, like our Wide Awake Wake show, I think it'd be perfect that Ozzy Osbourne actually died on stage. I'm being serious. I think in the middle of Crazy Train, if he just, and then falls over, I think the crowd would love it. What a great way to go, because he is a consummate, he is never happier than when he's on stage entertaining his audience. And he sings like it too. I mean, you can actually understand his words when he's on stage, right? You can't understand him when he's talking in an interview, but when he's on stage singing, it's unbelievable how good he sounds. And so with that being said, he did a concert a couple weeks ago. I don't know, something over in England. So he has been living in Beverly Hills forever. Of course, his wife does a lot of television stuff. He came out yesterday and said, I'm fed up with people getting killed every day. God knows how many people have been shot in school shootings. And there was that mass shooting in Vegas at that concert. It's effing crazy in the United States of America. Sharon even said there's nothing united anymore about the United States of America. So they're moving back to England, which I'm totally cool with. I'm like, go ahead, move back to England. That's fine. I hate when people say, I don't like it here anymore, or I don't think it's safe here anymore, because you'd think Ozzy Osbourne would be pretty secure, probably has a lot of security, he's probably safe here, but he wants to move back to England. And he's not saying it because he's like, I am English. That's my home place where I was born, and I want to go back home, and I understand that, but he made it sound like he wants to go back just because he thinks the United States is just too dangerous, which it's a crazy time right now, man. So let's talk about college football, at least for a few. Crime falls about 25% during college football season. And it's not just because we're all sitting in front of TVs watching college football. It's because we all find that comfort And we're finally like, okay, finally something I love, something that's on TV every day, every single night, and I can chill out. It's not because, they're busy watching the Iron Bowl and they don't want to go knock off some old man down in Inslee. You know what I'm saying? Teresa Ponder, good morning to you. All right, so have yourself a wonderful week. Don't forget all of our shows. Man, Kip Kiefer nailed it. I don't know if you heard the brand new show called Wanna Bet. If you're one of these DraftKings knuckleheads or you're on one of these websites where you can make wagers and you want to do that for entertainment purposes only, check out Wanna Bet. It was our brand new show. It aired Saturday 9, 11, 1, and 3. We'll do it again every Saturday at 9, 11, 1, and 3. And here's the cool thing now. Wanna Bet is on our Tony Kurre radio podcast series. We have well over 400 shows. Wanna Bet is one of them with Kip Kiefer and his son Case, who's out in Las Vegas. The show is done from Las Vegas. They give you the insight, the expert analysis, and picks every single week. And here's the cool thing. A lot of these handicappers, I went 4-0 last week, I'll promise to go 5-0 this week, or your money back, blah, 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 blah. And then when you go back to find their plays, you can't find their picks. You can't find out if they're full of shit or not. Kip Kiefer's show is up on Spotify right now. If you want to go back and see how he and Case did on Saturday, you go back and listen, and they'll give your picks over and over and over again. We're going to have those free picks. They're great. I think Kip was 37 and 18 last year in his picks. Pretty flippin' hot, pretty flippin' good. And a lot of people love these pick services because if I'm using someone else's picks and I lose, I don't feel nearly as bad because I'm not an idiot. There's nothing worse than losing your money and you're an idiot because you don't know how to handicap football games. So check out Kip Kiefer Show, Wanna Bet. We have Adapter Parish. It airs every single day at noon. We have Dark Side of Pooch. It goes a little bit later on this afternoon, right around 7 o'clock. We have Need to Know, the other Kip Kiefer Show, which has been huge. He's killing it here at Tony Kurre Radio, man. Joseph Mark Burnett, good morning to you, brother. We have Mission Minded, starts at 10 o'clock every morning, the Austin Hank Show, Blues Almighty. We have the Damon Johnson Show, and of course we have Live Wire Wednesday, every Wednesday night, brought to you by Southern Precision Staffing for all your staffing needs. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828 for all your construction needs. Check it out. Finally, if you're out there looking for a ride, I know a lot of people getting ready to do some tailgating this weekend. They're just wanting to have a car for the fall. Used cars are the way to go because you don't have to pay for all of that money that you lose as soon as the car goes off the lot. Go to CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. Al just mentioned he was on Facebook Live here just a few minutes ago. Brad, David, Shane, Jeremiah, Dakota, Al, the entire crew, they're fantastic. I mentioned I've been in the car business forever. I've done a lot of endorsements and commercials for a lot of car businesses. And finally, I drove up to Sylacauga and checked out Coosa Valley Auto Sale. It's a customer co-op. They tell you exactly what they pay for the car. They tell you what they're going to sell the car for. They do good trade-in values. And at any given time, they have 40 to 50 cars in the lot, so you will find something you absolutely love. And Al's telling me right now, he's here. So I'm going to give you a phone number, 256-267-0296, 256-267-0296. Check out Coosa Valley Auto Sale and CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. They do a fantastic job. Totally transparent. And if you don't lie about something, you don't have to lie to cover your tracks of your lies. And then you cover your lies with your lies with your lies. If you tell the truth like Al does in the car business, you don't have nothing to worry about. And then the other thing I mentioned is if you get a car, because they're trade-ins, you don't know how people have driven cars, and for some reason there's an issue with it, bring it back and they'll fix it for free just for the labor. You have to pay the parts, obviously, but they'll fix it for free with the labor. So it's good stuff. CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. Hey, have a great week. It's Labor Day week coming up. College football this week. What a fantastic time to be alive down here in the South and all over the United States of America. Screw Ozzy Osbourne. I love this country. I love living in this country. We have our problems. We're like a dysfunctional family, but we still love each other, and we'll get through it. I love you. Have a great week.